Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to go over how I prepared for basic training spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I break it down in that order because if you have a strong spirit and a strong mind, the physical aspect will come a lot easier. The question should be, what is your goal? What is your intent when it comes to the training? Because with that, you can dictate a course of action. For my spiritual side, I'm a soldier in Christ first and soldier of the United States, well, technically a future soldier of the United States Army second. When I'm aligned with God, I am aligned with peace. And the outside chatter of the world just seems to kind of dissipate. This journey of enlisting, if you check back on my previous video, it took a year. And during that year, you get a lot of doubts, insecurities, fears. And if you listen to the outside world, it can definitely break you. You're too old, what are you doing? You're a VP going to a private, are you out of your mind? But at the end of the day, it's your journey and nobody else's. And everybody's journey is as unique as our fingerprint. All these billions of people in the world and not one person has the same set of fingerprints. It did take about 3 waivers and an ETP. Check back on one of that video about the triple waiver ETP process and how it can help you if you have any kind of medical or law violations that you're concerned about. When it comes to the mindset, again, knowing what your purpose is, the why, the intent. So for me, it's to serve. It's to serve my brothers and sisters, and it's to serve what I believe is the greatest country in the world. It's provided my family, myself, my friends an unbelievable opportunity. And my mom came from Colombia, my dad came from Austria, my really close friends that are almost like brothers came from Indonesia. So I feel in my heart of hearts that it's the right thing to do is to give back to the country that's given us so much. Now comes the easy part. It's just the most time-consuming part, and that's the physical aspect of it. And again, here you need to ask yourself, what is my purpose and what is my intent? When I started training a year ago, it was a lot different than halfway through the year as it is right now. Is your purpose weight loss? Is your purpose performance? Is your purpose endurance? All those things will dictate how you train, at least in an efficient way. If your goal is weight loss, which I can talk about because I went to MEPS in April and I clocked in at 176. I went a little crazy with the food and celebrating, went up to 200 pounds. And so my training from then on out completely changed. It was all about weight loss and it was about sweating as much fat as I could. And for me, it was running. I did a lot of running at a very slow pace, 14-minute miles, 15-minute miles. I wasn't concerned with the pace. All I was concerned about was keeping my heart rate low. And so if it would increase, I would start walking. So I wouldn't even call it running. It was more jog walking is what my training was when I was trying to lose weight. From that point on, when I felt like I got back to around 175, I did drop down to 168, went a little bit too low. My training changed. And so I was more geared towards performance. I wanted to run 5 miles in 35 minutes. And at that time, the mindset was, gosh, when you're running 15-minute miles and you're trying to run 7-minute miles, it seems impossible, really. That was my mindset. I mean, I had no idea how I was gonna do it. I had no idea if it was even possible. Faith and works, both of them. I mean, you can't just have faith and be like, Lord, make me faster, because he'd probably give you the middle finger and say, why don't you get out there and do something? You have to put in the work, step by step, mile after mile, mile after mile, month after month. The mindset shifted from impossibility to, I'm almost there. I can see the goal. I'm doing 8-minute miles pretty comfortably. It's all about patience and endurance as well with your training. Benchmarks, I personally don't even know what the minimums are. I don't like to look for the minimums. I like to have the maximums be the benchmark, and I go from there. So whatever it is, if it's the ACFT, Army Combat Fitness Test, yes, ACFT, I'm looking at all the maxes. One thing I also focused on big time was rucking. I looked at what the standard was. I believe it's the Forge, which is a 10-mile, what I believe is a 10-mile ruck with a 35-pound rucksack. So I decided to train up to that, and I made sure I started very light. I think I started with 20 pounds, worked my way up to 30 pounds, 35 pounds, and just going on concrete. And I worked my way up to hiking through the mountains with 35 pounds. And then I decided to do 55 pounds and ruck through Roan Mountain, which was 12 miles, 5,500 feet of elevation at 5,000 feet of elevation. For me, that also gives me confidence that if I can do a 12-mile ruck in the mountains with 55 pounds in some pretty intense sections through Roan Mountain, then I believe I have what it takes to do the 35-pound ruck for 10 or 12 miles, whatever it is, for basic training. Just trying to exceed what that demand is, train up for it so that you can mitigate the pain in the future. Consistency is the biggest thing. You got your spirit right, your mind right, the physicality will follow. I would say one of the biggest changes is why I was training. Before, it was very selfish. I want to get in shape, I want to look good, I want to be strong. However, when I signed in as a 68 whiskey, which is a combat medic, my entire training just changed to, I'm now training for other people. I'm now training so that I can do my job to the best of my ability. I don't want my fitness to be the reason why I cannot conduct my job, thinking about others when we're doing litter carries, or if I have to sprint to a soldier and conduct some kind of medical treatment on him. I don't want to get to the soldier completely winded. Hold on a second, I need to catch my breath. Like, I can't live with myself that way. That's motivation enough to be like, people will be counting on you and you can't let them down because you're not in shape, because you didn't put in the effort. It's selfish. That's my motivation, is other people. And that's what I want to do. I've been selfish for so long that I just want to serve, however that is, whether it's in the Army, whether it's making these videos. Any way I can help, that's what I want to do, and that's what makes me feel better about myself in a selfish way. And if you do have any questions about anything more specific about my trainings or any questions about anything at all, just leave them in the comments below and I answer every single question. Thank you again for watching. If you found any value at all, just be sure to use that trigger finger to like or subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you next week. Yeah, I'll make one more video before I ship out in January 9th is when I ship out. Right now, my current weakness is going through some withdrawals on caffeine. I am on 24 hours now, and I was about 6 to 8 cups a day, no exaggeration, so I'm feeling it. I am feeling it with a headache, lack of energy, focus, all of the above, you name it. This is going to be a challenge. But I'd rather suffer here than suffer in basic training, quitting cold turkey.